Yo, what's happening? What's happening? What's happening? No, I'll just listen. Six Fast Commandments, Mr. Lane, if you need me. I was just outside, right? And I've been meaning to get into this conversation for a quick minute, man. Bring this down so I see how long I'm going. I've been meaning to bring this conversation up for a quick minute about like plus size women, um, with my experience with dating plus size women and my experience, kind of just the different parts of my life and whatnot, and just my observations, like during and post. And don't get me wrong, I still, I think most men, especially if you like working class, regular, like it's like regular old brothers, really don't mind curves. Like most black men, for the most part, don't require like a flat stomach or she gotta be real in shape. For the most part, men just don't want their women to have no big belly. You know what I'm saying? Or just not to wear, like, she can't wear a dress or she can't wear nice things. I put it like that. That's for the most part what men look for. Because for the most part, where we at right now, it's not that many people who are just petite and super small, and that's not really a requirement. It just got to a point where, for one, if you're a black man, a lot, especially now, a lot of women, black women are overweight, and I don't necessarily even mean like overweight as in they just not small. I'm not even talking about just not being in shape. I mean overweight as in being really big. Matter of fact, shoot, I don't really want to say that, but just being really big, and it's interesting. Like one time, I think I saw an old stand up of Monique, right? And I'm looking at Monique, and I'm like, don't get me wrong, like, I don't know, that was like the Def Comedy Jam, and I was looking at her and whatnot. I'm like, yo, Monique was considered to be a big girl back then, and I remember as a young guy, she looked really big to me, And I'm looking at this old video of her. She doesn't look that big in that video, And it's like and even when I watch like old reality TV shows, like go watch your old reality TV show that had black people on it. I remember like Flavor of Love. Now I never thought the girls on Flavor of Love were like really curvy and nothing like that, or like really like really curvy or really thick or nothing like that. But at the same time, I went back and watched that show. I was like, yo, like those girls, like you would say that New York was like real skinny. Like when if you see New York in that show, like she looks real. But then again, she was way younger and whatnot, but she was like really skinny. At least those women would be considered to be real skinny. You know what I'm saying? Or still be considered to be slim now, right? But um, so I was watching this video, um, I saw it again on O'Shea Duke Jackson's channel with Kendra G. I think Corey Holcomb is on it. He's interacting with Kendra G, right? And Lizzo comes up, the most, goodness, the most what's that word, polarizing figure when it comes to the battle of the sexes, I guess. I don't know, most polarizing figure, right? And Kendra is saying, no, she's real pretty in the face. And and I've heard people say something to that effect before. Let me tell you about my journey with Lizzo. Well, for one, I'm gonna give a little compliment sandwich. I do think Lizzo is talented. I do admire her talent. I think that like, man, that's really great that you can twerk and play the flute and sing. And it's like musical singing, but like what a lot of what Lizzo is like a novelty act in a lot of different ways, because everything she does is based off of her being big. You know what I mean? The outfits are based off of her being big. The songs are based off of her being big. And it's like, we know that a woman cares about how she looks. It doesn't matter how big. It doesn't matter how confident a woman is acting. She cares about how she looks. She's not happy being. Maybe a woman might be okay having a little happy weight on her if she was, always smaller, or she has a really nice shape, or it's not like she's not is going to the right places and whatnot. But like, no woman wants to be 300 pounds or have a big old belly. That's not who women are. I mean, I don't think anyone wants to weigh that much, and if you weigh that much, it should be a problem, because no matter how tall you are, unless you're 10 feet tall, you shouldn't be 300 pounds. No one's happy being 300 pounds. You know what I mean? That's one thing to point out. But I remember the first time I heard her voice, right? It was on this podcast with Lena Dunham, where, oh my God, the most radical feminist podcast ever. Not so much feminist, it's just like one of those like real like super overly fem spaces where like you just try to make everyone feel, which is nothing wrong making people feel good, but we have to do it like within reason. You know what I mean? Like that would be like, I rap for fun. I rap because I enjoy it. I rap for fun and whatnot. That would be like, I don't know, guys who have success as rappers talking to me as if, we the same thing. Like, yeah, no, man, you're successful too, man. Like you got fans too. And it's like, nigga, no, I don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, and I'm cool with that. I mean, I don't need to have fans. It's not a natural thing to want to have fans. You feel me? Like, it's not natural to you know what I mean? It's not necessary. Everything's not for everybody. You know what I mean? But you'll see this thing where women will lie to other women, and it's so normal that, we don't even see the freaking pathology. The first thing that Kendra G tries to do is talk about how pretty Lizzo is in the face. I'm like, you don't get to decide that. It's always interesting. Like, women always talk about not so much unattractive women, but women that men just aren't that into, and they talk about them like they're beautiful. I remember experiencing that. Like, as I was a young guy, I didn't understand. I didn't think that deep about it, but I didn't understand. I remember like my ex-girlfriend taught me about how pretty Khalees was. I think Khalees is an attractive woman, but I never saw women like that, and guys never talked about Khalees like that. I think Khalees was nice looking. She was a cute girl and whatnot. Not bad. I'm sure if you saw her in person, you know what I mean, she would, but she more so was like, like nice looking, because it's different seeing someone on screen and seeing someone in person. Everyone's not drop dead gorgeous. I mean, it's very, you don't really come across super talented people who are also very beautiful. If you really think about it, I mean, like, artists, a lot of times, like, you kind of have to be a beautiful woman. In terms of like being a performer and singer, stuff like that, you need to be, it really helps to be a beautiful woman. Like, it really does, it really helps tremendously, because like you can't be a superstar without it, because all the superstars you think about, they're all really attractive women. Even the ones you think is kind of mid, those are still very attractive women, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, I remember, so she was on this podcast, and I remember how she was describing herself, and this is when I was a little more tolerant of a bigger woman. Now, I would date a thick girl and whatnot, probably still, if I was single. But but she would have to look good thick. I mean, she would have to be like. But even then, it's like, if you think about the kind of guys that upper echelon guys beat guys, kind of women that upper echelon guys date. A lot of times, they're not really with the girl who has the big fake butt or has the big obnoxious butt. You know what I mean? That's really not necessarily who they go for, and they're not. Because again, you can't. That shape, that body shape doesn't really translate well to other areas, because again, when you're around a bunch of black folks, that body shape doesn't stand out as much, versus, which again, it's nothing wrong with, again, as black men, we all love, a curvy woman and whatnot, but what I'm saying is, like, that would stand out a lot, if we're at some kind of gala, you know what I mean, where it's a mixed crowd and stuff like that. Or when you think about the image of it and whatnot, because also for the most part, like, women who have like really big butts and not, they're usually heavier women. You know what I mean? So again, most guys, that make a lot of money and whatnot, and they're like white collar. Now they're looking for a woman that looks more in shape. But anyway, going off on a tangent, just a little practice video, going off on a tangent. But I just want to capture these thoughts real quick. But watching, again, going back to, I'm sorry, we was talking about first time I heard her, and I remember how she introduced herself. She and like, you would think she would just say, "Hey, my name is Lizzo. I do this kind of music," or just whatever, right? The first thing she says is, I'm Lizzo, and I am a very fine big woman, and me have my little big girl fetish and whatnot. I was kind of, I was curious to know what she looked like, because I mean, for the most part, when people are artists and they sing and stuff like that, you usually kind of expect for them to be very nice looking. And listen, Lizzo's not bad looking or nothing like that, but like, and also to the curves. I mean, because most men who like plus size women, include myself. Listen, I definitely got love for Big Shirley. They like them more for the curves. So when you see a big girl and she's not really actually curvy, it's like, it's not really as endearing. I would imagine like women who like big guys, or say they like them a little husky or a little bit thick and whatnot, they're talking about a guy who got big arms and big shoulders, you know what I mean, and got a little bit of a gut. They're not talking about a dude who has like a huge belly hanging over his hanging over his belt line and whatnot. You're not talking about that guy. You're not talking about the guy who's wheezing, going up and down the street and stuff like that, you know. But Corey made a really good point about, like, you know, when Weston was making that point about her being pretty, you know, being pretty in the face. He's like, you imagine Lizzo come out the bathroom coughing with no makeup on at 7 o'clock in the morning, you know. But it's the whole visual of that was just so genius, you know. But real talk, like, this little stuff like that. But wasting my gym time, y'all. Let me give it to him a little bit, man.